Hi, NANP. My name's Mia Sarno, the founder of Firewave Wellness, your digital platform for healing, vitality, and holistic health. And today you're sitting in on the Well-Fed Warrior research question series. We're going to talk about how to equip your mind and fuel your body since COVID-19. And the question we're going to answer today is how to support clients to adapt to chronic stress and fatigue that's been created by the pandemic. Believe it or not, in 15 minutes, I'm going to have you feel the shift in your own self. We're also going to bring new ideas into your practice for stress support communication and give you the nutrient and adaptogen protocols to really take into them so you can feel empowered even more. A little bit of a roadmap for our time together today. We're going to discuss and explore stress, anxiety, and depression, what research has come out, and what is this emotional contagion going on. We'll talk about case studies and what is really happening in adaptogen properties and how you can use them powerfully. And then I'll give you those nutrient protocols so that not only yourself can feel better and stronger as you support other people, but that hopefully you create that daily strength in your clients as well. Before we begin, I want to just take a moment together. If you're with me, go ahead and you can kick off your shoes and just ground your feet on the floor and close your eyes. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And I know that somewhere in your consciousness, there's been some level of change when it comes to COVID-19. Breathe in and breathe out. And on your next breath, just acknowledge what that change was and how you responded to it. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, let it go. Knowing that right here, right now is the moment you take to create new possibility. Slowly come back to the room and open your eyes. Thank you for taking that time, as well as dedicating it to the people that have suffered and lost in this pandemic. A little bit about me. I'm going to get personal if that's okay. My name's Mia. Like I mentioned, I'm a very, very proud Hawthorne University student finishing up my master's in holistic nutrition. And when lockdown happened not too long ago, a year ago, my healthy habits protected me. My boyfriend actually on his birthday came down with the COVID virus. We did the testing, we had vitamin C and sauna baths, and we made it happen. And ironically, my immune system didn't suscept the virus. And we know that there's lots of information going on. But what I do want to share is that I did have my own journey. That within 6 months of us going through that very stressful, very scary experience, my GI stools tested started showing IgA suppression. And all my digestive issues consistently came back. And I was consistently in these high anxiety states. And that's as somebody who I believe is so resilient, who has really began to do the work to manage herself from the inside out. And so wherever you're at in your understanding, know that I'm walking it with you. Some of the things that I do in my life now is lead the Well-Fed Warrior community, where we really just amplify results with holistic nutrition tracking. And my practice is fully online. I'm a yoga teacher in vinyasa and yin yoga. So we're looking at the TCM pathways and really just bringing that support that so many of us need. So know that that's the context I'm speaking with you in. And I would love to know more about you. So if you're not already on your phone, go ahead and follow me. It's Mind Your Fire with Mia, and any of the things that you share in your story or shout me out will just amplify these results so that more people can be helped. So I want to talk about the UnBig Unknown big elephant in the room, right? We in society have had such an emotional response, right? Fear, hatred, you're seeing it in, mainstream media, and they want to just dilute it really quick into the anatomy. Our midbrain has been inundated, and the COVID stress has impacted social emotions. There's two parts that I want you to take home with you today and recognize in your own self. that our midbrain is always interacting, and the first thing we do is mirror, right? So you're mirroring and kind of creating your own understanding of who I am in this moment as you watch this. And then later you'll mentalize, right? We'll have this conscious understanding of what is going on and how it contributes into your world. And you and your clients are doing both of these things at the same time. And what the research shows in the context of COVID-19 is that all these parts of the brain on the right side have not only been in information overload, but so much has changed, right? We're no longer allowing the pleasure moments in our life, right? We had to understand what lockdown even meant. I literally thought it was a joke when it first happened. And then, right, people are scavenging for toilet paper, and we don't have the activities that brought us fulfillment, that brought us connection. And what you see in the research is that there was this insane increase with negative emotions. And we've created this high level of sensitivity to social risk. And you know, and I know that there's social beings, we're human beings, we're meant to be in with each other and collaborative. And the risks of getting COVID, the new mask protocols, not being able to see your loved ones, possibly losing your loved ones, all of these things have began to impact our perception. And then the research also showed, right, like I mentioned already, that there's this decrease in positive emotions, that there's this decrease in life satisfaction. And what we're finding now is really important to sharing with your clients or identifying in your own self that there's this possible emotional contagion going on. And that if we are truly looking at the body holistically and what it has to adapt to, then we need to consider what effects it's having. Because what the research shows, right, in these depression and anxiety and stress questionnaires that are going around the world, literally the world, Pakistan, Turkey, US, Canada, all of these data points are coming in. And what we see out of 678 participants that came into this particular study, I highly recommend you go check it out, is that over half of them are expressing struggle or anxiety, stress states, depression. And when you look at the questions that are on this questionnaire, you have to take a moment and think, where can we support more? Where can we begin to work the consciousness, begin to build a better understanding of what societally is going on and what aspects we really need to focus in on? As a yoga teacher and mindfulness expert, I just feel empathetic to some of these answers. And instead of us looking at the data and creating this rigid, this is what it is way, what can we do in the future? What can we do moving forward as we transcend? Because here's the truth, is that we really do need social self-regulation during this pandemic, right? Things are opening up now. We're able to do more. People are getting vaccinated and feeling safer about their world around them. And when we looked at MRI scans about this socialization, even socializing through Zoom, you're picking up on the cues, right? The mirroring understandings, the mentalization, your brain is doing all of these processes. And when we're in a pandemic and we're scared that we're going to be infected by other people, and you can take it as far as cultural things that you've seen in mainstream media, we have work to do in really building strength and confidence in the mind. What is the self-talk? Are we focused on what COVID has taken away from us? Are we in hatred that we have to now work from home and don't have our commute to get away from, some of the personal life that we, used to feel sacred with? What are those areas? And what they showed when we were looking in these patterns of hate and disgust and revulsion, right, is that the brain is connected into this adrenal stress response. That what's coming in is triggering these things. And what's also really amazing, in my particular opinion, is that the same activation points that this study showed were the same ones as love. They weren't fear. They weren't, feeling threatened like you're getting eaten from a bear. But that there's a possibility here. And if we can just change the context, how much more healing can there be? How much more insight can we give people so that they can feel better? I think it's so important that you take it home in this presentation to explore the self-talk that's happening, to really build in your clients this stamina for personal sensory understanding. And then just remember that it's always possible to create a life that you love and be in that forward motion. And if anything, I'm here to take a stand for you in your own practice, that we get to have that high stress state and the new normal that a pandemic brought behind us and start to create new, which is something I'm dedicated to in the Well-Fed Warrior community. And so let's go into some of the things I love, right? Adaptogens, adaptogens, adaptogens. When we're talking chronic stress and fatigue, your resilience can be amplified by the goodness in the earth. But it's twofold, right? We always have to honor willingness and that there is choice. And getting through the trans-theoretical model to really say, yes, change is what we need. And urethra is such a great way to build those things. So not only here, as you can see in the picture, that these berries are deep, blacks and blues and full of the antioxidants like anthocyanins, but there's lots of calcium and magnesium and zinc and copper and all of these beautiful cofactors that we know help this metabolic process. Some of the effects that you can find in this are, 20 drops of a 40% tincture are increasing mental performance, are allowing work capacity to happen in high stress states, and that there's this better perception of information for even up to 4 hours after taking a dose. And, we're all in states of chronic stress in one way or another right now, and how relieving it could be to actually get things done. How relieving could it be to really experience in the body this calming, grounded, focused effort? Even in short, small doses. I rhythm this in my own life. And here's the truth, is that when we looked at it against placebos in some of the research, that people that were using this adaptogen tincture, which I'll talk about dosing it therapeutically in a minute, is there was decreases in errors in their work. Right? One less thing to be that much more stressed about, one less thing to be, overwhelmed with or in high stress states or feeling like everything is just too much, too fast. And here's what I love, is that what if you took this into your practice and, dove back into history and began to create this space for yourself and your clients to have fun again. Historically, they've been mixing this with fermented wines. We've created these tonics and these beautiful things that, people can get relief from, matching it with the mindfulness I mentioned earlier. Because here's the truth, is we all need sympathetic and adrenal support right now. To dive into this image from the research, just to remind you and kind of re-spark what's going on in the HPA axis, the Erythro-Siberian ginseng is a scavenger. So as we're staying in these stress states, we're kicking off oxidation. And how powerful could it be to have something working in your favor, to have something that gives you that peace and calm that you feel like you got taken away from you because you're in a global pandemic with so many new changes going on. And so I really want to just prioritize stress relief. No matter if you have a certain specialty, no matter if you're, only working with microbiome aspects, there's so many different parts to this puzzle. And so here's my recommendation for adapting to stress, that came as a worldwide pandemic, because we're still in it, right? 20 drops of a 40% tincture, around 2 milligrams. Some would say 1.4 milligrams, and every herbal tincture is different. I'm sure, you know that. So use your good judgment. Anywhere from 600 to 1250 milligrams is where we can begin to see this. And in a single dose administration, guys, we were able to see that, you can have this increased performance for up to 4 hours. And then, of course, I wouldn't be doing my job as a stress and fatigue expert if I didn't say antioxidants, antioxidants, antioxidants. Because we know that life is happening. And if we can change the relationship to the external world through mindfulness, through some of those self-talk and positivity activities, and then match it with antioxidants, we're ready. right? We've equipped our mind, we're beginning to fuel our body. We have the vitamin C and turmeric and cumin and fatty acids to really support what's going on neurologically. So there's a lot to get done with COVID-19. As you saw in some of the research articles, it's like was in November. This is all so new. And so if there's anything I can do today is inspire you to look at these articles, maybe take a screenshot and go back and just dive into the DOIs, see what's going on right now. And truthfully, where I want you to go from this point forward is to really reflect on your own performance and stress levels weekly. Experience the emotions and then transform them into love and respect and use Earth's gifts, right? We have such beautiful metabolic pathways. And if we're really in a belief system that the nourishment behind it can amplify results, can bring a brighter future and be forward focused, then you have possibilities in front of you. What if by listening to this presentation, you consider doing COVID, effect and stressor research and transform what's possible in your career? Integrate this emotional and energy work. I would love to collaborate with you to learn more about how it is that you're running your world and really be that sharing light. Let's get connected into loving kindness. And so here's a few places that we can connect. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this, please reach out to Mind Your Fire with Mia, see what I'm up to, see how I can support you. Be courageous. We all need to band together right now. And if you haven't checked out heal.me, those accounts are so amazing. They're really working in your favor, and it's specific to holistic practitioners. And lastly, try it on. You can go to wellfedwarrior.com/register and just check out how it is that I'm inspiring people, how I'm collaborating and connecting this world, because the truth is we all need each other right now. And when we can have this blend and understanding and confidence behind conquering stress, behind overcoming burnout, we can stay in passion, we can stay in the purpose and serve more people. I'm so grateful that you sat in on this. I can't wait to meet you in the Q&A. Make sure you take lots of notes, and I can't wait to hear what you have going on in your world. Thank you.